Last month, Ryan Benson had a late-night craving and picked up a delivery app to place an order.
I thought maybe this was like some kind of like artisan grilled cheese place. I was like, oh, I'll try it.
But Benson soon learned his order from The Meltdown was not the small artisanal restaurant he thought it was. The Meltdown turned out to be a virtual restaurant.
I feel like I've been catfished by Denny's. They put on like a fake profile where they were The Meltdown. And it was really just some chef in a Denny's like making my food.
It's all owned by the corporate diner chain. That online menu only available through the apps. A Denny's spokesperson says the company prioritized transparency, pointing out the connection is disclosed on the Meltdown's website.
Ghost kitchens and virtual restaurants became a way for small businesses like food trucks to expand their reach, but some say it's gotten out of control.
I think a lot of it, with anything in business, I feel like it totally got oversaturated for a minute there.
Kyle Hollenbach with BLT Kitchens in Arizona says his ghost kitchens provide the space for a business to test out a menu without the cost of investing in a full-blown restaurant, becoming a virtual presence instead.
And they're able to roll out a concept or several concepts. Usually most of them are doing multiple concepts. So, for example, one person or two people might be cooking 5 different restaurants on the Uber Eats and DoorDash kind of platforms.
Since 2021, the number of virtual restaurants listed on Uber Eats has quadrupled in the U.S. and Canada. In Nashville, 31% of restaurant listings were for virtual restaurants, according to a recent analysis of Uber Eats listings.
Consumers are choosing platforms before they choose restaurants. And so if you don't exist in all the relevant places where consumers are searching, you might as well not exist.
But with seemingly no limits as to how many rebrands or personas a virtual restaurant can take on, it's the customer who can feel duped.
In a way, it makes it harder to know, where is this food coming from? Do I trust who it's actually coming from? Are they being honest about everything else?
In this world, you can simply shut that listing down and start a new one, and no one would be the wiser.
Delivery companies like Uber Eats and DoorDash are cracking down. Uber Eats guidelines say a virtual restaurant menu must be differentiated from its associated brick-and-mortar menu with at least 5 distinct main dishes that cannot be found on your brick-and-mortar menu. DoorDash saying, quote, virtual restaurants are labeled and customers can access details about the physical location of the kitchen. Experts worry it's the small businesses missing out on the growing delivery culture.
I worry about these independent businesses who are getting left behind with this trend, but don't even understand why.
While customers are left to wonder if the convenience of delivery is worth the mystery.
Because when you go in, at least you have the chance of like watching them make the food, and you're like, I know exactly who prepared my food.
All right, Valerie Castro joins us now in studio. Valerie, it smells wonderful in here. I would almost say it smells delicious. I do want to ask you, how do you know what you're ordering, right? How do you know it's not just some guy barbecuing on his balcony? How do you know it's a legit restaurant?
So for one of these virtual restaurants to apply to be on the apps, they do have to show a restaurant license or a permit, just like a brick and mortar store or even a food truck. But it really is up to the consumer to do some investigating and find out where the food is coming from. We used one of the apps to order from a place called Tender Shack here in Manhattan. But if you look up the address of Tender Shack, it's actually the Outback Steakhouse. So we ordered chicken tenders. That's what's in the bag. You can smell it. But as you can see, it says Outback Steakhouse. So Tender Shack is one of these virtual restaurants. If you go on the website, it says it's owned by Bloomin' Brands, which is the parent company of Outback. And it does say on the website that they are not a real restaurant.
Okay, so at least they give consumers a heads up. Is there a plus side to this? Are ghost kitchens creating jobs?
So ghost kitchens themselves are actually expanding, and the owner that we talked to in our piece says they are opening more locations in Arizona and even more locations across the country. So there clearly is a demand for these ghost kitchens.
Okay, and then after this commercial break, or during the commercial break, we'll have some Tender Shack, and we'll try those delicious chicken tenders.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.